On the 28th day of this federal government shutdown, and all throughout we've been talking to lawmakers who've been going back and forth to their districts, states, coming back to Washington, bringing us news of how their constituents are thinking about this shutdown as it stretches onward and onward. Please have the Congressman Greg Murphy joins us. He represents the 3rd Congressional District in North Carolina, my home state, and I might invoke my anchor's prerogative here in just a couple of moments to talk about the geography and maybe the political terrain in that district as well. But great to have you with us here in Washington. Let me start with that question of sort of what you're hearing as you go back home about how long this has dragged on and how there doesn't seem to be, at least at this moment, any clear off-ramp to this shutdown.
I think the Democrats have sewn themselves into a corner. It's really true. Well, I'm hearing, hey, stay firm, hold the line, because it's just an asinine, ridiculous amount of requests in something that shouldn't have any requests in it. This is a clean bill to continue funding a month ago on a Wednesday, just like we did on a Tuesday. And so people are understanding that, and I think they're sensing some of the desperation of the other side.
I was up on Capitol Hill last week, and I sat down with Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader, and just feet away, the House Speaker was doing a news conference, and I said to the minority leader, you're so close to one another. Do you speak with one another? Are these conversations happening?
Yeah.
I was also struck by how quiet the place was. But is that happening? Are you talking to Democrats? Is there any kind of conversation happening at the member level?
The conversation, it reminds me of Seinfeld a little bit. That was a show about nothing. Yeah. This is the shutdown about nothing, because we literally just wanted to fund the government. Let's just be very clear, David. Let's just tell it what it is. This is because AOC scared Schumer and the progressive left scared Schumer because he did the exact same thing in funding the government in March. Period. Let's just distill it down to what it is. And so they've now put $1.5 trillion in demands, basically reversing everything that the 2024 election said to do, because they say they don't like it. And so I think the American people understand that. Look, you had the Federal Credit Union yesterday, federal employees yesterday say, look, 2/3 of us are saying enough of this. Vote for the clean CR. Let us get back to work. Let us get funded. So I think the cracks are starting to occur. We know that some moderate Senate Democrats who spoke on the condition of anonymity last week said, look, we'd vote to fund the government, but our guillotines would kill us. Our far left would kill us. So
you are a medical doctor by training. You're a urologist, I believe. The Democrats say this is about health care and the rising cost of health care.
Yeah.
I wonder if you have any sympathy for that, maybe stepping back, not talking about the subsidies specifically, but just the weight that health care costs are bringing to bear on Americans, including those in your district.
Yeah, go back and look at 2014 with Obamacare. This was a ticking time bomb that was going to explode at some point. And then look at all the different variables. Look at why things cost so much today. Yes, we're living longer. Yes, care is more expensive. We're doing great new therapies. You know this from Chapel Hill. But sadly enough, we have grown since 2014, since Obamacare has exploded the middlemen in society, the insurance agencies, the pharmacy benefit managers. These are great, as Ross Perot would say, the great sucking sound of medicine. We need to destroy the huge monolith that's occurred in the middleman and get back to making health care affordable. They want these subsidies. These subsidies are basically subsidizing insurance company profit. Sorry, not going for it.
I will put the question to you here. What do Republicans propose to do? If you don't extend these subsidies, how do Republicans bring those costs down?
Well, I think there are a lot of things. If you look at Medicare Advantage, United Healthcare is really the worst offender with this and all the upcoding and things that they do. If you look at pharmacy benefit managers, where they're taking the middlemen out, squeezing our independent pharmacies and causing drug prices to be high because they get paid more because of that. Looking at efficiencies, look at what Trump RX has done. They're saying we're going to go straight from the pharmaceutical company to the patient. We can cut a lot of costs with this. There are many, many different ways we can do this. Inherently, we're living longer, we're living healthier, and those things do cost more, but there are a whole lot of efficiencies that can be obtained that present-day bureaucracy is not allowing us to do.
I said I was going to wax reminiscent. I'm going to do that now. You represent a territory that has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, I'd say, objectively. I spent a lot of time on Emerald Isle in Carteret County. Of course, went to Ocracoke as well, one of the most beautiful and isolated places in the world. You're in a strange predicament right now. The Republican legislature in the state of North Carolina has redrawn the maps. How are you thinking about the consequences of that at this point in time and what that means for your kind of electoral fortunes going forward?
Well, they took away my beaches. I've always had a coastal district, and frankly, I'm not too happy about that. But that said, I'm always going to represent to my fullest extent the people that are within my district. If you look around the country, look at Illinois, look at California, look up in the Northeast, it's always been, regardless of any Republican people there, it's always been gerrymandered against Republicans. And it's really interesting that now we're playing the same same hand that they've played against us. I don't know that this nuclear war is a good thing for the country, but it's just literally trying to turn the tide back, which has been put against Republicans before.
How do you see all this playing out? So you bring up that slippery slope and turning back that tide. Is it going to happen? How do you see this ratcheting up even more?
Yeah, you mean in North Carolina?
Well, just in the United States more broadly.
No, look,
states where this is happening. Indiana's another one.
Yeah, and I heard Virginia was going to try to do it too. I don't know. I think history will tell us whether this was a good thing or not for the country, or whether it was a partisan initiative that's in reaction to a previous partisan initiative. I don't know. Time will tell. We're going to have to let the dust settle on this one before making any real judgments.
I think of you and your relationship with Don Davis, the gentleman from Snow Hill in Greene County, and you've gotten along, I think, reasonably well. And we talked at the top just about the level of comedy among Democrats and Republicans, or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
How does this stand to strain that even more? If this process continues and you see, again, these maps being redrawn and more strains being placed?
Well, Don knows that I'm not directing this. I'm literally, I'm running in the district where I'm the incumbent. We have worked together on a lot of issues. We worked back when I was in the state legislature on the issues. But, this is a team sport, and it's one team against another team, and push comes to shove, regardless of what happens in the future. This is the hard part of politics.
In the time we have left, let's just go back to the Hill and think about the state of play here.
Yeah.
I imagine you'll have meetings among your caucus. You'll hear from your leadership. What are you looking forward to here in the days to come? We have the president who's still overseas. Does he need to be back in town for there to be real action here?
No, not at all. I mean, look at the wins that he's having overseas. My God, look at all the trade initiatives and all the trade deals that he's doing. The Biden administration, during the entire 4 years I was on the trade subcommittee for Ways and Means, we did absolutely nothing. And the president has win after win after win. No, this is a Senate Democrat problem, period. And when the cracks appear in that, which are going to happen sooner than later, we'll get this resolved and we can actually go ahead with government.
Bit unfair here, but a headline crossing the terminal. A federal judge plans to block Trump shutdown layoffs. This is a unique shutdown in so many ways. We have Russ Vought, who's running the Office of Management and Budget, trying to move things around, keep some people paid, keep some programs running. When you hear a headline like that, how do you react to it? Just kind of the limbo that a lot of these federal workers are in
it's
right now.
so funny that you say that, because last time when the Democrats were saying, well, I'm going to vote to keep the government funded, but I don't, because they didn't want to give the power to the president to do certain things. And now that they've shut down the government, guess what's happening? The president has the power to do these things. Whether this is a rogue judge or what, I don't know specifically about that. But, actions have consequences, and the Democrats have now going to have the consequences of their actions.
Congressman, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Carson, Greg Murphy of North Carolina.